San Antonio Spurs fans, Lonnie Walker. Should he stay or should he go? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. It is going to be a very exciting offseason for San Antonio Spurs. But one question that has not been answered is what are the San Antonio Spurs going to do with Lonnie Walker? We're going to try to re-sign him or we're going to say time to move on. Drop a comment down below while I'm doing this video. What do you think of Lonnie? Should we sign him? Should we let him go? I'm going to be breaking down different parts of his season. Hit that thumbs up if you like how support the channel and subscribe for more San Antonio Spurs content. Let's talk about El Cuatro. So we're going to start off with struggling Lonnie. This is the Lonnie Walker that had us frustrated through a good part of the season. In the first 51 games, he shot under 39% from the field, under 30% from beyond the arc, and couldn't really just get into a good rhythm. His minutes were obviously up and down, and he only averaged 10.8 points per game. So this part of the season was a very long, rough stretch for El Cuatro. And I'm going to ask you sincerely, San Antonio Spurs fans, just based on statistically speaking, he obviously had some highlight reel moves and some exciting plays and some big shots, sure. But just based on what you're seeing, a fourth-year player in the NBA, mind you, what you see above him, would you sign that player? I wouldn't. I would not re-sign that player. That being said, we have greener pastures on the horizon. Lonnie Walker, after the Derek White trade, all of a sudden just hit easily the best run of his career in a 13-game span from games 52 to 64, where he shot 47% from the field, about 39% from beyond the arc, and averaging 18.7 points per game off the bench. And during this time, he was showing just amazing athletic, highlight real moves in the paint, just getting in there, contorting his body all around, making his incredible shots, hitting his threes. He made us believe, like, this is the guy we've been waiting for 4 years. He has finally hit it. We've seen flashes in that double overtime game against the Houston Rockets, and now he's finally here. Finally! Lonnie Walker has come. And then he would injure his back. And for the record, game 65 is not going to be included in the first part of these stats because he was injured. He played a few minutes, went out. And then after that back injury, we had injured Lonnie for a short stretch, game 66 to 70, and his stats unfortunately kind of regressed back to where he was before he had his hot streak. He was under 40% from the field, well under 30% from beyond the arc, and was back down to around 11 points per game. It was nice to see his rebounds and assists and steals were up, so he was contributing a little more in distributing the ball and defensively. But on the scoring side of things, where we really need him off the bench, or as a primary scorer off the bench, he kind of regressed back to the guy that was playing earlier this season. I don't want to hold this against him too much because he was injured, but it does raise the question going in to this offseason, which Lonnie Walker are we going to get if we re-sign him? Because we look at the cumulative for the whole season, is this a player you would re-sign? Because the guy that played those 13 games and averaged 18.7 points per game, I would re-sign in a heartbeat. I want that kind of production off my bench. But if we look at his whole year, he played 70 games, averaged 23 minutes a game, barely shot over 40% from the field, around 31% from beyond the arc. And this is a team that needs three-point shooting. We severely need three-point shooting. Josh Richardson is giving this off the bench. Lonnie Walker is obviously very spotty and has struggled most of the season. And he was back down for the season to 12.1 points per game. So if I look at the three different Lonnies we had, I guess we'll call the first Lonnie, with all due respect, Lonnie Walker, bad Lonnie. The one in the middle, good Lonnie. And the last 5 games, injured Lonnie. Would I re-sign bad Lonnie? No, I've already established that. Would I sign good Lonnie? Absolutely. And then injured Lonnie? Probably not, Spurs fans. That gives us 2 no's and 1 yes. And then looking at the cumulative year stats, without knowing this was Lonnie Walker, if I told you there's a fourth-year NBA player, he's only 23, he's a 6'4" forward that was drafted in 2018, 18th pick overall, and his salary last year was about $2.8 million, and he's a free agent. And I gave you these stats of 70 games, 23 minutes a game, 41% field goal percentage, 31% from the arc, about a 78% shooter from the free throw line. Defense, I guess say average. He has his moments, he has his lapses. It is what it is. 2.6 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 12.1 points per game. Is that a player you would re-sign? Not knowing that's Lonnie Walker. Because we have to separate, when it comes to the team, the players we like and what they're producing. And I'm going to have that same issue when Keldon Johnson's contract comes up next season. I'm going to have to sit there and think, okay, I really like Keldon, should the Spurs keep him? And I'll have to detach myself from being a fan of him to what's best for the team. And I like Lonnie. I want to set that straight right now. I like every player on this team. I root for every player. Every player succeeding means my San Antonio Spurs team is succeeding. Looking at his production, I can't keep saying this year is going to be the year. And it hurts me to say that. Right now, I would be leaning towards not signing Lonnie. The Spurs draft the guard in this upcoming draft. I think that pretty much seals the deal. There's no chance they're re-signing him. Joshua Primo, while he did struggle a lot, the Spurs obviously see something in him and believe in something in him to have him start as many games as he did, including the play-in. This is going to be a really tough decision because Lonnie's a fun player to watch. Well, easily the most athletic guy we have out there when it comes to being able to create in the paint and just put up highlight reel type of plays and make ESPN's top 10 for when they actually acknowledge the San Antonio Spurs exist. I don't know what's going to happen. If he comes back, I will be happy. I'll be all right. He's back. You know what? I personally might not re-sign him, but the Spurs still see something in him. Great. Hopefully succeeds. Hopefully proves me wrong. And in year number 5 goes out there and scores 20 points per game. And if they can get him on a somewhat friendly contract, 3 years, 10 million a year, okay, good, great. Prove me wrong. I would be nothing happier to revisit this video if Lonnie stays a Spur and he absolutely goes nuts and plays like, hot Lonnie from games 52 to 64. But if he's going to get offered by another team, Spurs fans, 3 years, 15 million a year, if somebody's willing to pay him that, I think we're going to have to sit back and say it might be time to move on. And no matter what happens, and maybe you might be like, man, you're getting all too little attached to your player. I want every one of our Spurs to succeed. I do. Whether it was Drew Eubanks when he was with us, or Bryn Ford, or Thaddeus Young, I'm like, show me something. Show me you belong. I'm that full mode right now with the New York Giants with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, with a lot of fans hoping to leave. I'm like, prove us all wrong. Show us that we need you on this team, that we didn't waste a draft pick, that you belong, that you got something in here that shows you can get us to the promised land. Show me something, because I don't want to see you go. But if you keep playing like this, you gotta go. I can't every season say this year's going to be with Lonnie Walker. I know he's young. I know the potential's there. But what if this is it? What if it's just as him the rest of his career? Team's got to come first before the player. So whatever the Spurs do, I will support it. Again, if he comes back next year, I'll be rooting for him. I'll be doing the Darth Vader, if you only knew the power of the dark side. Every time he does something crazy, and I'll be rooting for him. But if he goes somewhere else, I will understand it. Just don't go to the Lakers. I was for LA. That's all I got, Spurs fans. I really like Lonnie, and whatever happens, happens. And hopefully we have a fun season and an exciting draft. And that's all I got. I'm rambling because I don't have any Spurs live streams, so I got to get all my thoughts out here in these videos. But again, drop a comment down below. Which Lonnie do you think comes out next year? Version 1, version 2, version 3, or a combination of all? And I think Lonnie Walker next year will probably be a combination of all. But prove me wrong if you come back, my man. Prove me wrong. I thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, and as always, go Spurs, go!